Welcome to the MyBlogGuest April Google Hangout on Air. Today we will be getting an update from Gerald Weber on viral content buzz and the new tools that are available that are also used in MyBlogGuest. Don will be joining us and telling us a little bit about the new features of the Elite Gallery and some other new features that are coming in MyBlogGuest. And Min will talk about mentoring done by MyBlogGuest and her initiative on the new author training. We'll also talk about headlines and subheadings and the importance of using them in your articles and guest posts. Join us now for the MyBlogGuest Hangout. Hello everyone, welcome to the MyBlogGuest April Hangout. Boy, these are coming up faster and faster. They're so fun. What is it? Time flies when you're having fun. But I guess that would imply we're having fun in between the Hangouts. But so glad to have you here. We have, starting from my left to right, we have Gerald Weber, who's going to talk to us about VCB. Michael
Howdy, folks.
From CompuCall.com. Phil Turner, Editor-in-Chief of MyBlogGuest. And we have Shannon, and she's also MyBlogGuest moderator. So, several topics. If you're looking at the event page, you can refer to the link there if you want to follow along on the topic list. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, let's fire this off and let's hear about all the wonderful things going on VCB. I was just telling Gerald, I love that little bee there. He looks so friendly. Gerald, take it away.
Yeah, that bee is our mascot. If you've watched any of the videos, he kind of gives you a guided tour of the site. It's a very friendly bee. Yeah, so I mean, we've done so many updates. I'm not sure which ones actually, I don't remember which ones we covered last time. I think you said you wanted me to talk a little bit about viral content buzz labs to start.
Yes, please. Okay.
Well, basically, what Labs is a resource for all of our users, a free resource for all of our users, different tools to utilize to aid in content marketing. And, you know, basically, we are providing these tools free to use just as a way to kind of add value to the overall platform so people can get more out of their content marketing. And just give you an example of what we have to start right now. I think probably one of the more important things is the activity analyzer is really cool because that will allow you to enter a URL of a particular post, and you'll be able to see the social. You'll be able to save that, and you'll be able to see the social action on that post, number of Facebook shares, number of tweets, and so on, stumbles, and so it'll kind of keep a running log of that. So as you're entering your different URLs, your projects, URLs, a post is basically a project, is what we call a project. So as you're entering your posts or your projects in viral content buzz, you can go to the activity analyzer to basically keep a running log of those posts and all of the social action, so you can really see, the social signals as they're occurring. Then we've got a Twitter chat app, and I know a lot of MyBlogGuest members. I know the moderators are all familiar with the MyBlogGuest Twitter chats. So our Twitter chat application, you know, any user can use that to host their own free Twitter chat. And I guess Deborah, could you elaborate a little bit on the benefits of the Twitter chat? It's just kind of a really cool way for a certain community to kind of communicate and talk back and forth on via Twitter, but in a very, I guess you say, conversational, targeted way.
Oh my goodness, if you want me to comment on the benefits of the Twitter chat, you guys better sit back, grab your coffee, because I'll be talking for 2 hours. But
oh yeah, okay.
It's a fun, there's different styles. The MyBlogGuest Twitter chat's very informative, so you can walk away learning some tips and also share, if you have tips, contribute, but you get a little window into and Sana's brilliance. So they're very informative. Even if you're lurking, although we prefer that you actually, pop in and we can say hi to you. But tool, the VCB tool, is very cool compared to some of the others out there. There's a lot of great tools for Twitter chats, but I like how there's 2 columns and it filters out the moderator. So if people are, especially when you're new to Twitter chats, there's a lot of tweets that are going by and trying to figure out which one you're supposed to respond to, where are the main announcements coming from. So the tool from VCB allows you to highlight that on the right-hand side and see what the moderator is actually tweeting.
Okay, that's good to know, because I haven't used too many different Twitter apps, but I just know that when the MyBlogGuest Twitter chats are going on, I find the application just extremely useful for being able to follow the entire conversation, throughout the process of the chats. And then the last thing we have, Deborah, for right now is Pinterest Analytics in the Viral Content Buzz Labs. So, that'll allow you to specifically track your traffic in your analytics data from Pinterest. Right now, those are the three tools, primary tools that we have right now. They're still a little bit in beta, I guess you could say. We plan to continue to iron out those tools or improve those existing tools, and we're going to be, adding, additional tools on top of those 3 in the future, of course.
Excellent. Hey, Gerald, for those people that may be new and watching this, could you explain as far as the connection? A lot of us are already know about Viral Content Buzz and using it, but the partnership with Ann and how that plays into the MyBlogGuest, because it's a lot of crossover as far as like the Twitter chat. It's a VCB tool, but we're using it as far as the MyBlogGuest community. So maybe
Sure.
just a quick background.
Well, yeah, basically, yeah, we've been out a little over 7 or 8 months now. This is something me and Ann Viral Content Buzz is something me and Ann have been talking about for a couple of years before we actually launched it. But basically, the way it ties into MyBlogGuest, and for those that don't know, I'm the president of Search Engine Marketing Group in Houston, and Ann and myself are partners on Viral Content Buzz. But yeah, basically, after Ann had started MyBlogGuest, I was always really into social media promotion and how to get, how can I get action on this platform, and over the years I've tested probably just about every platform out there that's some sort of platform that's supposed to help generate social buzz and this sort of thing. And as you know, there's a social media help forum on MyBlogGuest, so MyBlogGuest members would go there to get help, but we also realize that, hey, this is a real need. This is a area where, and especially newer bloggers, but really at the end of the day, anyone that has a blog and cares about getting more eyeballs, this is a real area that needs some help, some attention. So what I noticed is all of these social platforms out there that I tried over the years, there was always something that I just did not like about it. Like some platforms just had so many spam submissions, and so just different reasons. There was always something different that I just didn't like about the platforms that made them kind of useful, or they use puppet accounts or something instead of real social media accounts. So I was able to, after years of trying out all these platforms, I was like, all of these platforms, this problem with this one is this, and the problem with this one is this. And so Ann's like, well, you know what? Why don't we just make our own? And I said, that's a great idea, because then we can basically craft. We know what we want, which our focus with Viral Content Buzz is quality and real social media accounts. So we were able to really craft and put together Viral Content Buzz in such a way that we know everything is going to be very, very useful with a focus on quality. We're able to moderate to keep out spam. We're able to say, hey, you have to use real social media accounts. So we're able to make it in such a way that we know it's going to be useful. And like I said, with the focus on quality, so we're basically able to change all of those things that we did not like about all the other platforms. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And I think that's one of the key things is for the MyBlogGuest users that are accustomed to the quality levels within the MyBlogGuest. You'll see similar quality levels within the Viral Content Buzz platform, which is really helpful because, like Gerald said, some of the, not to knock any of the other platforms, but sometimes there's some stuff that slips through that's like, I don't want to tweet that to my followers and I don't want to feel obligated. And you won't feel that obligation.
Right, like if you're perusing the content, and you know, the other thing is we tell people, you know what, if there's something, if it looks like low quality, users can flag that, and we want users to flag that. But you know, like on some of these other platforms, you know, I'd see stuff like, you know, Houston criminal defense attorney Houston or something, and I'm like, come on now, no one really wants to share an article titled Houston criminal defense attorney in Houston, you know. So, you know, that being said, you know, we tell users, all right, we're going to moderate for quality stuff that's obvious spam. We're going to moderate that out. That's not ever going to see the light of day. Now, you know, quality is again subjective. So there's going to be some people that say, I didn't really like this article. Well, if it really looks spammy, the users can, you know, most of the time it's not going to get through. But if someone feels something looks spammy, you're able to report that, and moderators will take a look at it. But other than that, I mean, if not everyone is going to always like every article every time, so in that case, we say, you know what, only share the content that you actually like, that you actually feel comfortable sharing on your Twitter and Facebook. You know, we want this to be a genuine thing. So as long as you actually say, okay, this content, you know, my Twitter followers or my Facebook followers or what have you are going to find this content useful, then you know you can earn the credits to get your content shared, but you also feel good about what you're sharing. You don't have the, I guess you say, obligatory sharing factor like you may have on other networks where like, hey, I'm going to share your content even if it's crap, just so you'll share mine even if it's crap. You know, people only share what they like.
Mutual sharing of crap. That's
yeah,
that would not be a tagline that I would put on a website.
Well, yeah, like that was a problem that we wanted to not have on our platform, where it's like a reciprocal. I'm not going to mention any other you know, names of any other platforms because I'm not trying to talk bad about anyone. But you know, we didn't want it to be a, you know, hey, I got this group of friends and you're all obligated to share my post, because then you do have kind of a obligatory type scenario, and you may, you know, so some people may feel pressured to share something they don't really like. Well, we avoid all that on Viral Content Buzz by saying, you know what, there's no groups that you have to share this group with that group. You just go, you look at the dashboard, you find the content that you think is good, that you feel comfortable sharing, and you share only that. If you don't like it, don't share it. It's pretty, it's very straightforward.
Yep. And you know, I saw an interesting use for you MyBlogGuest users, and I won't put the gentleman on the spot because I learned from Phil in other Hangouts as far as naming people, but I'm going to give kudos to this unnamed MyBlogGuest user who actually posted in the what I call the social love forum on the MyBlogGuest. When you're a member, you have access to a forum where we share the guest posts, and he put a link to VCB within the social help. So he's actually giving, not only is he saying, please share my post, my guest post, but he's also saying you can get some credits by logging in here and sharing it. And I thought that was really helpful. It's kind of the best of both worlds, where the person posting it gets some help as far as the share of the guest post, but also giving an opportunity for someone to, if they really like it, they get some credits. So all you MyBlogGuest users that are also on VCB, that's an option if you'd like to post that in the forum and give the link. And again, it's not obligatory, as Gerald says. You can use either platform, straight out recommend the post, or go through VCB and get some credits. So
right.
Another idea.
And one other excuse me, really nice benefits that that a lot of people don't really think about is actually Viral Content Buzz is actually another traffic source. So what I mean by that is when you submit a you know, a piece of content, you have a new post and you hit publish and you're all excited, and you know, you share it on your Twitter and Facebook, and all right, I got some credits at Viral Content Buzz. Let me go ahead and submit this. Okay. Well, in addition to, the benefit of people that share it, obviously there's going to be some eyeballs, well, ideally on their Twitters and Facebook. Of course, the amount of that is going to vary, but people are going to be, clicking through the posts to check it out to say, hey, do I want to, and do I want to share this? And every time someone does that, that's another viewer. So it's also another great way to get some direct eyeballs to your content straight from the dashboard.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Gerald, thank you so much for giving us an update on VCB. There's also some past Hangouts where Gerald shares the features, like when Pinterest came out, so you can watch those on the MyBlogGuest channel. We're going to move on to our next topic. This week we're talking about headlines, subheadings within the community, an upcoming Twitter chat, all kinds of exciting things coming up. And one of the exciting things is training. And Min Min, I'm going to turn it over to you to tell us about the program that you mentioned.
So, the new author training, it's only a term, I invented. It's actually an extension of our current moderation. To explain the new author training, I will have to explain our current moderation procedure first. Currently, when we check the article, we check the most recent articles, and when users submit an article, the article is live in the article gallery instantly. It means we check articles when the articles are already live in the gallery. To ensure the quality, we have our quality checklist. Our checklist includes English grammar, link practice, and image license, etc. If an article has these issues, we will add private notes to the user and hide the article. The user then edits and resubmits the article for review. If a user's articles have a certain pattern of these issues, we assume that their new articles may also have these issues. So in this case, we will add a manual review tag. With this manual review tag, the new articles of this user account will not be live in the gallery until a moderator reviews them. So this manual review tag actually creates tensions between moderators and a few existing users. So I was thinking the current procedure is not so perfect because there are so many articles in the gallery, we cannot check everyone before they are live in the gallery. And it happens that some articles issues were never noticed until a moderator noticed them later. So I always say these articles were born free. They had their freedom to be live in the gallery, right? But and our users, they are used to composing articles in the same way, always like that. Then someday they receive a manual review tag. They lost their freedom. So I was thinking, what if we reverse the process? We reverse it. Because now we only check new articles every day. So I think, what if I check new authors' articles, find the issues immediately, and add a new author training tag instead? So now I start to check new articles every day, new authors' articles every day, and add the new author training tag if necessary. I add private notes. I PM or email the users explaining these issues. And I think now there's no tension between moderator and the new authors. The new
That's
authors
very innovative.
they are very cooperative. So basically now new authors are aware of our quality checklist and adapt to it quickly. So I'm thinking over time the tension between the moderator and a few existing users will be reduced. Yeah, that's the new author training. You know, there's a Chinese saying that a good start is halfway to success. I'm a firm believer. So I always do things like this. I always think a good start is the most important.
Well, it's a very positive approach to, it sounds like what you're doing is you're helping, especially the newbies to MyBlogGuest, to actually step through the process of understanding what MyBlogGuest is considering quality, the quality checklist, and teaching them rather than the slap on the hand that they may feel after the fact.
Yes, right.
Hey, Min, do you have this Hangout playing in another window by any chance?
Sorry.
The Hangout. Do you have like two tabs or two browser windows?
Okay, I should
where this Hangout may be playing?
Let me see. Yeah, I should close it.
Yes, yes. If you have like the event page, if it's playing on that one, you should close the event page.
Yeah, I close it. Now, is it okay now?
Let's test that. It's still there just a little bit.
Or does she have her mic too close to the speakers? You'd hear feedback that way.
Should I close?
I hear it more when the rest of us talk versus when Min talks.
Yep.
So, what about others? Do you hear me?
We can hear you fine, but we hear a little bit of feedback, like an extra echo.
Okay.
It's either you've got another window.
Maybe, yeah, maybe because I use a laptop, maybe it has echo or something. I don't know. It's the first time I use it. I usually use another.
It's better now. Oh.
Okay.
If somebody else talks, not so much.
So, Min, is this the new authors training? Is it something that someone can sign up for, or right now is it just like a flagging system for the moderators that they may need some training?
No one needs to sign up. It's just I check the new authors articles. If I find issues, I contact them, and they adapt quickly. So it's very smooth. And maybe, I was thinking of adding the training in our Hangout and invite new authors to join, so they can ask questions and I can answer. And I think this is better, I can help them right away.
Excellent. Well, say the word. I'm there to help you with the technical and the Hangout end of it, so that you can do your magic and work with the new authors. Thank you, Min.
You're welcome.
And speaking of quality, we have one of our newest mods, Dawn here. Dawn, thank you for hurrying back and joining the Hangout. And Dawn has been very instrumental in growing the G+ community. I think, Shannon, you wrote something in the community about, yeah, everyone should hire Dawn to grow their community. It's excellent. And he is the head information and overall on the new Elite Gallery, which obviously I know very little about it. So Dawn, I need to hand it over to you to tell us, what is this thing called the Elite Gallery?
Thanks, Deborah. Am I coming through okay?
Yes, you are.
Am I? Okay. I think the big idea behind the Elite Gallery, at least for me, is that, you know how publishers have a slush pile on their desk of stories people have sent them and they'd like them to read, and they just, dig. Have you ever seen a movie where the editor's picking up a slush pile and going through it? You can get lost in the slush pile. I mean, in the general gallery, we have articles that are wonderful, that are excellent, that are elite articles in the general gallery. But there's also thousands of other articles in there. So you know, it's the old needle in a haystack deal, looking for just the article you want and the writer you want. Well, I think what the Elite Gallery does is it allows authors who care enough about their work, or who care about their work, and I don't want to eliminate anyone here. Not every article, not every author has to be an elite author. But if you're an author who really does care about your work and you want it to stand out a little more, you don't mind maybe going through some more stringent guidelines, then the lead article can allow you to get your work out there in front of publishers. And publishers, the good thing on the end of the bloggers, the people who use the articles, they can come and go to the lead article gallery knowing that every article there is going to, again, have passed some more stringent guidelines. So it's a way to stand out. It's a way to get out of the slush pile. And when you combine that with the new tool we're also, I believe, rolling out, where publishers can request articles they want, then we're really serving our purpose. And I think the big idea behind MyBlogGuest is here's a place where people who need articles and people who write articles can come together, hook up, communicate, get to know one another, and have that win-win situation. So it's a lot of fun, and I'm glad to be on board with you guys. Good to see you today.
Well, we're glad to have you. You've really added a lot to the mods group and to MyBlogGuest. Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm loving it.
Excellent. Anyone else want to chime in on the Elite Gallery? And I love the article requests. I'm really looking forward to that, because so often I'm looking for a specific article for my blog, and that's a real time saver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a question about that, actually, about the Elite Gallery. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I understand the purpose. Sometimes there's some, really high-end type articles in the standard articles gallery, etc. So I'm clear as to the purpose. So, are you guys promoting articles from the standard article gallery to the Elite Gallery, or do people say, "Hey, my articles are elite," and just submit them directly, or how does that part work?
Yeah, so people ask, and any author can ask. They can email info@myblogguest.com, say, hey, I would love to have my articles in the Elite Gallery, and then from there, one of the admins will look at their work and approve them to submit to the Elite Gallery. But then, unlike the regular gallery, when an article comes to the Elite Gallery right now, it first has to be gone over and approved. The author gets approved as an author capable of writing elite material, and then the article gets looked at to make sure it's elite material. And Gerald, by the way, I love viral content buzz myself. That's an excellent tool, and I tell everyone I can. It's great, perfect.
Oh, awesome! Really, really good. Glad to hear that. I mean, we're extremely pleased and excited with the way it's unfolding, and it's really becoming useful, very useful. I mean, we use it to promote all of our clients' guest posts as well. So back to the Elite Articles Gallery. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. That's gonna require in most cases, it's going to require a direct email to the moderators to say, hey, I filled my content, my article's pretty good, I'd like to be in the Elite Gallery. That's pretty much the main way to get there.
You bet. People request. They request to be considered, and then I'm not sure where that's going. It's going to admins.
Isn't it just their total count, though, Dawn? It's not just one article. It's not per article, right? It's their account becomes approved, right? Or is it really
exactly? No, their account becomes approved, and once their account is approved, then they can submit articles to the Elite Gallery. So the criteria there, I think Anne or maybe Sana, someone's going to look at that, look at their account, and see what kind of work they've been doing, and see what kind of reviews they have, and see if they're of the caliber that we could get them involved in the Elite program. And then when the article comes to me, and right now it's just me that's looking at those articles, so we can have consistency. I sit down with them and look at the article, and basically, I think, is this something I would proudly post on my own blog? And there are some, there's some parts of evaluating writing that are entirely subjective. It's a matter of do I like it or not, and I might not like what you like, and you might like it differently. So I don't evaluate by topic or whether I'm interested, but by structural components. Is how's the grammar? Punctuation especially has been something that a lot of people just don't take the time. So when you see an article come, and in the introduction there's misspelled words, there's punctuation errors, you don't have to go much further to know that, hey, there's a problem here, and let the author know, look, if you want to submit here, you really need to clean up your work, and no one's perfect, but it needs to be a really high caliber article to get in here.
Could we call that somewhat of a mentoring approach that MyBlogGuest is taking for the Elite Gallery, as well as Min sharing about the new authors training?
I think so, because we do that anyway. At least the majority of us do, for sure. Just because your article gets hidden, it's not like, oh well, this is the guideline, and I'm going to quote the guideline, and and you get sent to the hidden queue. It's not that way at all. It's like, if you did this, or why don't you do this, or could you please change this? It's not. For me, it's always a helpful thing, like a teaching opportunity, or we the way Anne's always spoken about MyBlogGuest for me is that we want to have everybody's article do the best it possibly can. So our purpose isn't just to be moderating and making sure the spelling's okay and the grammar's okay. It's definitely a suggestion thing too. At least it is for me, for sure.
Good point. Hey, Michael, as a MyBlogGuest user, and I always think of you as the content marketing specialist on our panel here. What are your thoughts on these new changes as far as Elite Gallery and the efforts towards helping people on the quality?
I didn't go to MyBlogGuest lately, so I didn't see those features yet. So I have to see them first.
I like that answer. No comment until you actually can experience it, and that's very wise.
Yeah.
Excellent. Hey, let's talk a little bit about headlines and subheadings. That's been the topic this week in the community and upcoming Twitter chat, and listed on our topics for this Hangout. Michael, what are your thoughts on headlines? I can't help saying that without remembering that you truncated appropriately so. My first headline that I sent you was quite long, so thank you for that.
Yeah, I think somebody wrote that it should be 70 characters. I don't know who wrote that. Yeah,
a Google standard.
Okay. The other thing, we talked about numbers in the headers, and I think last time I said that would be a bad idea, because if you say 3 things for whatever, somebody's going to come and write 10 things. So when somebody search for this on Google and see next to each other, I don't know, 3 tips for X, and then he see 10 tips for X, they're most likely going to read the article that say 10 tips versus the 3 tips. So,
but wouldn't you, as an author, do say a little homework there and say, oh well, if I write this title, there, look, this is what the search engine shows me, and there's already 5 articles with a similar title. So then, obviously, to me, that would mean we change the title so that if it is in the search, it's not gonna, that's just something that came to mind when you mentioned that, because I find that the articles that I see or that appeal to me are very much those ones, there's 10 reasons why, or 10 things you could do, or whatever. It's descriptive. You know exactly what the article is going to be about before you read it. And I prefer that. I like that. I don't like the ambiguous teasing kind of things, because am I going to go and waste my time reading something when it's not really about what the title says? At least that's just my thoughts on the subject.
Yeah, and as we're talking about this of using numeric in headline, I just got an email with a newsletter from Content Marketing Institute, and they have 7 articles in there. 5 of them have numbers in the titles. 12 roles essential to future content marketing. 3 tips for more effective content marketing. 9 questions to help prioritize content creation. 4 truths about content marketing. 6 tips for start getting. I'm sure if I take any of those and go on Google, I'm going to find some article on the same subject with more tips. Yeah.
Do you think some of that depends on the audience, as far as there's some people that may connect with?
Well, usually when you have a number, people will tend to open the article, but then again, if they will search and they will find multiple articles with numeric, they will tend to go for the larger number. It's human nature. Now, we actually broke this rule, and the post yesterday has a numeric value about 8 new roles for PR, but that was because the article talked about some specific book that the author had, where she talked about 8 new roles. So, and in that case, was the reference was to a specific book that defined those 8 new roles.
Phil, what do you think about the use of numbers in headlines?
I think it's overdone, because somebody or lots of people seem to think that it's a good idea. So now everybody does it all the time. It's one way of getting attention. Numbers are easier to read than words. So I think when you have a list of search engine results, it makes the article stand out more than if there was no number there. I've used them. I think most people do, because of what they read about it being a good idea. But I don't know enough of the SEO stuff to actually say whether it is or not. I'll leave that to Michael. But
yeah. The other thing we talk about on headline is using a question in the headline, and it's funny. Yeah.
Does it list a question mark? I mean, I've never really done it.
Yeah, you can put a question mark in your blog title.
Right,
the issue we found out.
The question mark?
Yeah, the question mark will show. The issue we found is that when you take that article that has a question in a header and you post it in a discussion board, especially on LinkedIn groups, people will see the question, will see the first paragraph, which we call the teaser paragraph. And actually that is the same as questioning the title or questioning in the first paragraph. And some people that are not familiar with discussions with links on LinkedIn, especially Facebook sometimes also, they will rush to answer the question without reading the article. And sometimes a lot of the answers are in the body of the article. So then we go back to the discussion and say, please read the entire article. Yeah. However, recently, LinkedIn, at the end of December, they did a drastic change to the groups, to this LinkedIn groups. Basically, they had a serious spam issue. And instead of addressing the spam issue, they put a rule at the end of December that basically if you are in a bunch of discussion groups and in one of the groups somebody doesn't like you and flag you as a spammer or whatever, or delete you or whatever, basically LinkedIn automatically set you on all your groups as require moderation, which means basically your posting will be held in the moderation queue. Now, 60% of the groups on LinkedIn are moderated by people that started the group and they abandon the group, so they don't moderate it anymore. So they don't go they don't go to the moderation queue, and we actually noticed this. Suddenly, we don't get comments, we don't see traffic, and when we look, we saw all our articles are stuck in the queues on all the discussion board. And actually, LinkedIn, actually, if you type in help, why don't my discussion are posted, you're gonna see they're actually posted this information about this rule. So now you have to go and send an email to each group moderator, and some groups have more than one, with a letter asking them to remove this require moderation flag, and actually tell them exactly how to do it, because some of them don't know how to do it. And because some of those groups are abandoned, if you are lucky to get between 2 to 5 responses, that's good. But in doing so, in writing those letters to the moderators, we reached to a person that worked for LinkedIn, which is a moderator for a group. And she requested specifically that when we post a blog article into a discussion group, that the format is first you post a question, then you post some paragraph that basically explain what you're asking for, and then you put the link to the article. So if you follow our articles on LinkedIn, you'll see the last 3 ones come in this format, that there is a question. And now, again, we are faced with the fact that people will answer the question, not read the articles.
So you're finding that even though it's nice that the moderator is there and paying attention to what's going on in the group and you can reach her, that the format is not as beneficial to you as the previous format of posting the links to your content.
Yeah. I mean, a year or 2 years ago, LinkedIn used to have 2 things. They used to have something called news feeds and discussion groups. So basically, if you had a blog article, you would put it in the news feed. And they actually had a way at that time to hook an RSS feed straight into LinkedIn. Well, they took this away, and now you have only the discussion groups. And in the discussion group, they want the discussion to take place in the LinkedIn group, not on your blog. That's why they say, well, ask a question and people will comment in LinkedIn, not in your blog.
Hey, that reminds me, Michael, you have an interesting way to approach it, which I really like. Where the last article that I wrote for your blog, and there was a question, a comment, I should say, on the article, and you posted it in the LinkedIn, you cross-promoted it. And I thought that was really brilliant as far as the comment, so that you've got some traction on the LinkedIn discussion group as well as on your blog.
Well, yes, the reason for this is for the entire audience that read the article to see all the comments, even if the comment was posted on Google Plus or Facebook or LinkedIn. We did get some heat from some people in the UK that were hot about it, saying, well, who gave you the right to copy my comment and put it on your blog? And our answer was basically when you put it in a discussion on LinkedIn or on Facebook, this is public information. It's not something private. But some people objected to that.
So if people are going to try implementing that tip, you're not running into problems when you copy the comment from your blog over to a social media platform, but when you go the other direction, that's where you run into potential issues.
Well, yeah, some people object if you copy their comment and share it on other platforms, even though those platforms where they leave the comments are public domain.
Makes sense. Now, I believe your blog uses subheadings, and that another thing that we're talking about beyond the headlines are subheadings. Don, what are your thoughts on subheadings? I know you're one of the newest mods, but do you see them used a lot in the articles in MyBlogGuest? And what are your general thoughts on the use of subheadings?
Well, two things about subheadings. One, I think it's important to use a markup, generally H3, depending on the rest of the flow of your blog, because, you know, for the SEO bang, that gives it a little standout. But from the technical standpoint of just for the article itself, you should be able to look at an article, start with the headline, as Shannon said, and be able to tell from the headline whether that article is going to interest you or not. And that's part of the function of the headline, is to select the audience. I might not care about an article on cosmetics, but maybe, Deborah, you would love it, you know, perhaps, let's say. But then again, I might see an article about, you know, how to keep your old Suburban running another year, and that might really, you know, grab my attention, and you might not care at all. So the headline, the title of the article selects the audience. So from there, though, I should be able to look down, and, you know, most of us, we're busy, and when we're reading, if we stop at all, and it's that headline that's perhaps going to get us to stop. But so if we stop, then the next thing we're going to do is take a quick skim. So that's where and sometimes authors just don't get this, I think, but it needs to be visually laid out in the article so that, you know, those subheads, I should be able to look at those and get a feel for the general points I'm going to read. I should have a real good feel just by looking at the title and the subheadings of, again, whether or not this is something that's really going to be of interest to me. And if it is, if the subheads point to those things that I need to know, then I can stop further and go in and read into the body of it. So I think they're critical. And also just visually, when you look at just a body of text that's all flowing together, it's not broken up into paragraphs, it's not broken up with subheadings, you know, you look at it and go, I don't have time for this. So we pass it by. So I guess, yeah, so the answer is, if you want someone to read your article, use subheadings.
Shannon, do you find... Oh, sorry, Phil, go ahead.
Not just bold, but actually put them as subheadings. Put them as H2 or H3.
Like use the actual HTML code. Because when you copy your article into the MyBlogGuest editor, if you will, you can copy it from the source code and copy it into as a source code, right? So
yes,
bold is not, you know, we don't want bolded words unless it's going to be the subheadings, but it's preferable from an SEO standpoint as well. It's more advantageous for you as the author to do that. So H3 tags would be better than bold every time.
Now, I have a question for any of you mods that may know the answer to this. When I receive articles, I want to say 100%, but we'll say 97% of the time, the subheadings are actually, they're just bolded, and I have to go through and actually add the H3.
You should actually use both bolding and H3, because depends where you post the article. Some system will strip out the H3. For example, if you post the article to Eason Articles, and if you use their Eason Articles plugin to post it there, they will strip the H3. And if you do bold and H3 outside the bold will remain, but the H3 will go away.
But that's
Really?
something that you, as the SEO or the blogger or whoever you are as the author, to me, that's your responsibility to know those things. You know what I mean?
Hmm. So
So,
what I'm saying is use both bold and HT.
but for my blog guests, yeah, we don't really have a rule, guys, that you can't do that. It's just, right, Phil? There's no real rule for that, saying that you
There's
have
no
to use.
rule, and I see what Michael's saying, but I don't think it's necessary for your ordinary WordPress blog. I'm not an expert, but
Yeah, well, from an
sometimes it
SEO
happens.
standpoint, preferably for me, I would use H3 every time, no matter where I was submitting the article.
I think what Michael's suggesting is to use both, so that if you're just talking about posting it in different places as far as an article submission, to be prepared that it might be stripped.
Like, just get into the habit of doing it, sort of thing.
Yeah, you basically highlight the subheading, bold it, and then H3.
I don't even know if I've never actually done it, so I'm just kind of thinking, I wonder, and WordPress just lets you do that. Like if you were doing it in your own blog or something.
We use WordPress, yeah, definitely.
Okay. Because
now,
to me it's kind of redundant, but
you can set up your Word to do it all automatically.
Yeah, because when you put in H3, automatically it takes whatever your default CSS code says it should do, right? So that depended on your own.
Yeah, but sites like is an article, I believe Patch does the same, will strip your HTML.
I haven't done anything for eZine articles in years, so I didn't know that.
Well, actually, you don't have to do much because they have a plugin now that you just click a button and your article go to eZine articles. You don't have to do much.
Huh.
MyBlogGuests are not for eZine articles, though.
No, they're different. It's different purpose for me.
They're just going to WordPress blogs.
Well, eZine articles, though, don't they? They can go anywhere. In fact, I find that eZine articles are more likely to be scraped onto other sites and then auto-posted, which is why I stopped using them.
I think Michael's suggestion is, if you're beyond just the scope of the MyBlogGuest, if you want to create habits as far as if you have the bold within the HTML, if you have the bold and the H3, if the H3 is removed by a certain platform, not MyBlogGuest, then at least you still have the bold. So you have something there that shows a subheading.
Yeah, because I think that a lot of publishers, like for me, I don't actually use the article gallery to post articles. I'm a publisher. The majority of what I use it for is for publishing. So I would prefer, or I would probably skip even, if I had to go and format the entire article when I put it on my own blog, I'd probably skip it. So and I've said that to a lot of users, if you make it look pretty and easy to just copy paste or whatever, then you're going to get more offers than if it looks like crap, it reads terrible, you've got horribly long paragraphs, etc., etc. So even just from a perspective where what would I want to put on my own blog, it's just better to format it, pre-format it, make it easier for the publisher, and they'll take it. You get more offers.
Good point.
Definitely make it easy. Most people are lazy.
Yep, I think everybody is lazy at some point. A lot of point and click out there these days.
It's a different world than it was 100 years ago. Not that I was here 100 years ago. If I was, then I should be selling whatever.
I was just reading something in passing, and it had mentioned that in 2001, I think that was 9/11, right? Was it 2000 or 2001? Anyway, at that time there was no such thing as social media. There was no Facebook, none of that. No Twitter, didn't exist, and it blew my mind that it was only 12 years ago that this didn't exist, because it seems like it's such an integrated part of society now that you can't even think of, like, wow, when did I never use these things? You know what I mean?
I think in this info age, it's excellent that we have the ability, even on the Hangout, to be able to see people. I mean, Phil, you're across the ocean. I can see you. This is excellent.
I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah. It does add a hell of a lot to
Yes.
communication generally.
Well, it's a huge help for me because I'm pretty much homebound because I'm not well. So it's amazing for me. It's my total social life, honestly, because I can't just go up and do whatever I want whenever I want. So it's fantastic.
But you've no camera.
Yeah, well, it's because I don't get out much, you know? I'll have to order one in from somewhere. It's just not high on the priority list.
Yeah,
I'll get there.
I know.
Hey, Min Min. I haven't heard you for a couple minutes. Do you have anything to add as far as the current contest that MyBlogGuest is running?
Contest, not really. I think it's running every quarter something, and now if you install plugin, so your activities are recorded. If you are active publisher, you are more likely to be the winner. So it's more encouraging. I think it helps.
It's definitely one of the easier contests because it's a matter of using the WordPress plugin. Once you get the hang of using it, which it's very convenient and time saver. So for you MyBlogGuest users, definitely log in and check it out. It's under your sites section, or ask one of the mods and they'll direct you. It's one of the easier ones because you just go about your daily business as far as publishing.
There's nothing to do, literally.
Right.
It's just automatic, right?
Yep. As I understand, I'm not a self-proclaimed expert on the contest.
Well, I just in reading on the information recently, that's how I took it. It's just automatic. The more you publish, the better your odds.
Yes. Yes, and for any of you that are new, like Min Min said, they're quarterly. So Anne is very generous with the contest, and you can find out more information in the forum section. I think it's one of the top topics in the list there if you want to find out about the current contest. Well, everyone, I've enjoyed our time together. Could spend all day chatting with you. Any last-minute tips or little shout-outs or shameless plugs that you want to throw into the video and tell the audience before we close out this monthly Hangout?
Yes.
I have so many people here today.
Shameless plug over here. If you haven't already, sign up to Viral Content Buzz and start promoting your content.
Definitely, and for all you MyBlogGuest users, that is really helpful to get those guest posts, your guest posts, and also those on your blog. Get them out there. Viral Content Buzz.
This is your call to action. Sign up for Viral Content Buzz today.
You can remind people how to find the new elite article gallery. You can't really miss it, right? There's a brand new link at the top of the right-hand side of MyBlogGuest, anywhere you go, and it says Elite Articles.
Excellent. And Don, you said to be considered, you send an email to info@myblogguest.com. Is that correct?
I believe that's the way, and just say, hey, I'd like to be considered for the elite program.
Don't forget to say what your username is.
Mm-hmm. Good point. And I agree with the idea earlier about Viral Content Buzz. When you put up an article that you promote on Viral Content Buzz, definitely let other people know you've done it, because when I see articles, people say, hey, read my article, then I'll respond and ask them, hey, have you put that on VCB? Because that way I can, as you said earlier, I can share it and build up some credits of my own for when I have an article I would like to share.
Great point.
Do you want to say something, Jerry?
You're good. You're good. I'm typing it in here.
Okay.
Hey, Phil, you're learning from me. Come on, you're doing the Shannon.
It's nice to see so many people here.
Yes, yes, this is pleasant. I want to pass out, a little cup of tea, cup of coffee. So we'll just have to virtually.
I'm gonna get the jazz.
This was the best hangout so far.
Right?
You got the coffee.
Didn't we agree that jazz was going to be the MyBlogGuest background music?
Oh wow, I was looking for
No,
Russian rock.
I
don't know what the.
You saw me.
I thought
asked
Russian
them to
rock was
post
going to be it.
I did
Well,
my
you know-
share.
Soft jazz, it bounce better.
I did my share for the Canadian rock links. You guys all got those. I thought everybody was going to do their favorites back, including the Russian stuff. Come on.
Well, I don't think that Anne has announced it yet, but we do have the podcast. So there's a little. I don't know if it's Russian rock. You guys can correct me, but it's kind of a rock beat, and it features Min Min at the very beginning.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Min Min.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We've enjoyed this, and we will see you, MyBlogGuest users, next month for the Hangout at the same time, last Friday. And join us on the G+ community and within the MyBlogGuest forum and the Twitter chats on Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Thanks, all.
Thanks,
Deborah.
Thanks, Deborah. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for the MyBlogGuest April Hangout. Watch for more information on subscribing to the podcast, which is the audio version of this Hangout, and also the event for the May Hangout, which will be posted in the Google Plus community for MyBlogGuest. Also, information will be available on the MyBlogGuest blog, as well as a forum. See you in the MyBlogGuest community. Thanks all.